Hello and welcome to Talking Tent, a podcast about movies, TV, and all the content we can possibly consume.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Irma.
We are a married couple whose shared love of movies and TV cannot be contained, so we've decided to share our thoughts, opinions, cheers, and occasional jeers with the world. It is May 1st, and welcome to our first ever Excitometer episode, when we will look ahead at everything coming out in the next month that intrigues us or excites us and give our Excitometer score. Patent pending.
There's a lot here. I'm a
there's
little
so
overwhelmed.
Much. It's absolutely overwhelming, and the TV onslaught that we've been discussing recently does not end. But first, we will start with the first week in May.
Oh, so we're doing this by date, not
Yep.
by... Okay. All right.
The first week in May, the biggest release of the month and probably one of the biggest releases of the year, at least certainly box office wise. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 comes out May 5th. Monster release.
Day after our anniversary.
Oh, wow.
Should
How
we
romantic.
date night?
Date night with baby Groot, teenage Groot, adolescent Groot.
I know. So I would normally say I'm excited for this, but I feel like I've been burned by the Marvel trailers. Like the one for Ant-Man looked so good and it got me so excited for that. And then I saw the movie and it was shit. And so like, yes, I want to say I'm excited for Guardians of the Galaxy. Like I do genuinely like James Gunn and what he's done with the Guardian movies. So I'm going to say a 7. I'm excited enough for this.
Irma, I think this podcast would be much more interesting if we disagreed more often. But again, we are agreeing that in theory, I'm very excited for this.
Me
It
too.
is the finale, kind of the Guardians of the Galaxy. It is the end, at least, of the characters that we know in this iteration. And it should be wonderful, but Marvel has taken a major dip lately and really disappointed me. And honestly, I hated Guardians 2, so I actually don't like what
Guardians
James
2
Gunn
wasn't good.
has done.
Yeah, you're right. That was James Gunn also?
Yeah, all of them are. And this is actually, I think, the last Marvel thing he's doing now that he is DC's big boy.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna. Oh,
are you gonna go down?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it an excitometer of 6.
Okay.
Lowering my expectations so that they can be.
So you could be pleasantly surprised.
I can be pleasantly surprised rather than disappointed.
Okay, I get that. I mean, I feel like I love Batista. I love Groot. I love
Rocket.
I don't know. Yeah, I do really like all the characters. So I have high hopes. Medium hopes. All right, let's go.
Then the television for that same week. This is what we were talking about it getting a little overwhelming. On May 1st, right off the bat, White House Plumbers, the new HBO drama starring Justin Theroux, Woody Harrelson, Kiernan Shipka, Judy Greer, Domhnall Gleeson, Lena Headey, Monster cast. It's a farcical take on the Watergate scandal and the people that were supposed to be helping Nixon that ended up making it even worse in Theroux and Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, I'm excited for this. I've been seeing previews for this like for a while now, and I think it's going to be so good. I would say a 9. I'm pretty excited.
Big one.
Yeah, big one.
I am also excited. The Hoffman household loves Justin Theroux. And
this is also a limited series, like a mini series, right?
Yeah, comes and goes. It ends. But yeah, I'm going to give it an 8. Slightly less excited, but it's HBO. We're going to watch it. We're going to love it. Then on May 4th.
Which is a Thursday. I know that because that is our anniversary. Woo!
Big 4 years on May 4th, right?
Did you just have to look that up?
No.
I saw you looked at
No, I looked to make sure it's the right day, and you are correct. It's a Thursday. Big 4 years for Irma and Zach, and we will be celebrating by watching the other 2. No, maybe we'll watch it after. But the other two, season 3 comes back. For anybody that doesn't know, I believe it started on Comedy Central, but has been subsumed by the Max. And it is about let's call him a Justin Bieber type, who happens to have 2 older siblings who are lost in life. And they are the titular other 2, an older brother and an older sister, also trying to make it in the world with this uber famous younger brother. And it is hilarious.
Well, also, and their mom becomes uber famous also.
True. Yes. Throughout the first 2 seasons. And she's kind of the kid's manager, and she becomes famous herself. She's
played by Molly Shannon.
Yep.
Which is great. Yeah, I missed the first season, caught up on the second season. It is extremely funny. I really like it. I mean, I feel like I'm not as connected to it as you are, so I'm going to say a 7. But it is like a really great comedy.
I'm giving it a 9. It is hilarious. And I can't wait for just guaranteed guffaws every episode. So you can't really discount that. On the same day, Star Wars Visions Season 2 comes out. The second iteration of animated shorts in the Star Wars universe. This time they're moving outside of just Japanese animation studios and going worldwide with it. The first season had a lot of standouts. So this season should be good. Star Wars stuff, kind of like the Marvel stuff, I'm giving a little bit of a detriment. I'm saying a solid 6.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. It's definitely intriguing, but I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, it comes out today.
Well, one of the reasons why I kind of like Star Wars Visions is because it's not canon. Which I think...
Is that true?
Yeah. So it gives them more opportunity to like play around with things that could happen in the Star Wars universe. And I honestly really love like different animation styles, and I love seeing like how that can fit into this. So that being said, like I am a bit oversaturated by Star Wars. I don't think we're going to be jumping to watch this like immediately. Like maybe we'll wait for a couple episodes to build up since there is so much TV. So I'm going to give this a 5. Like I'm excited.
I thought you were going to say higher. You went lower.
No, I mean, I do. I really do like this like premise, but I don't think like this is something that we're going to be talking about every week. You know what I mean? Like we'll watch it, sure, but I'm not like excited to watch it like when it comes out.
On the same day.
A third show on the same day. Okay.
May 4th, a show called Bupkis coming out on Peacock. And he continues to churn out content. And mostly you've seen him in commercials and on the Knicks sidelines. But this is Pete Davidson's life story in a heightened fictionalized way. I actually haven't seen any previews of it, so I don't know. That's the description, is a heightened fictionalized version. So I don't know how heightened. My assumption is this is going to be kind of like Lil Dicky is Dave, which I love. So I can't imagine this will be anywhere near as good. And I don't know, Pete Davidson, I don't like him. I don't dislike him. I'm pretty neutral. Okay. I'm just interested in that he is a thing and he continues to get all of these opportunities. Nothing he does is bad. Nothing he does is great.
Well, he's not like an actor. Like I don't understand what he does necessarily, but
it seems Lorne Michaels has just decided he is an intriguing presence.
Yeah,
and he gets eyeballs.
Yeah,
like
all right. Sorry,
the world has
you were
agreed.
about to give it a grade.
I'm giving it a 5, directly down the middle.
Yeah, that's what I think I'm going to give it to. Also a 5. I'm a bit like similar to Star Wars Visions. Pete Davidson, he's just so like, well, I guess maybe not similar, but he's just in the zeitgeist so much. Like I feel like there's always some news headline about him. So I feel like I kind of know his life in a weird way. Like I know so much about him. I don't really think I need more info. I don't know. Yeah. And it's also on Peacock. Like, I don't know. A 5.
Then finally, the next day, is this getting overwhelming for you yet? Taste the Nation with Padma Lakshmi. Season 2 comes back. I think this came out during the pandemic, maybe right before it.
Pretty sure it was during the pandemic.
Yeah, and she must have, I think she filmed everything right before it. But it's just another travel food show.
But it's in the U.S.
In the U.S.
Which I kind of liked. Yeah.
So Padma kind of exploring different cultural cuisines within the United States, obviously the melting pot tossed salad of the world.
Yeah.
And it's really nice. They tell a lot of really nice stories.
They really do.
About, indigenous people, the Mexican people in Texas. I think they did a Polish one in Milwaukee. This is all season 1, so I'm sure she finds lots of other stories. I also love spending time with Padma whenever we can.
Oh, yeah, you and Padma. I know. I feel like this is going to be your show you watch by yourself without me.
So I'm giving this one a 7. I'm excited for it. I pretty much know exactly what it's going to be. I'm going to like it. It's not, it's just going to fulfill an hour of our time maybe not 45 minutes of our time every week.
Agreed. Yeah, a 7. Happy to watch it. Yeah.
And then the big one of this television week, this also comes out May 5th. It's called Silo, and this is the first of the shows that Apple Plus is putting out a brand new series premiere show every week in May, and maybe even going forward. It's pretty interesting. One of them has to hit. But this is based on the Wool books by Hugh Howey, who was kind of one of the first self-published on Amazon monster smashes from, I don't know, at least 10 years ago. I read it. It's great. It is a futuristic dystopian world where everybody lives in these silos that are buried under the ground. And it's like Snowpiercer situation where it's like everybody is stuck in this one enclosed place. And it is showrun by Graham Yost, which I feel like Apple's been doing some of these genre television shows, and a few of them have not hit yet. Graham Yost, who was the showrunner of Justified, he is the executive producer of a lot of things, but including Slow Horses, which we love. So he gives me faith that this could go very well. It is a very hyped book series.
And you read all of them?
I read the first one, not all of them. I don't know. I assume the first season, at least, is just the first book, and then they'll move forward.
Okay.
But this feels like, I don't know, what was the extrapolations Apple hasn't done well? That other one, that was the sci-fi one with.
Yeah, the thing is, like, Apple has just a lot of money. Like, this is not their main source of income, so they can just throw money at something like this, which is kind of exciting because I feel like it's going to look amazing. But I have no background knowledge of this series. So I'll watch it just because I know you're kind of excited about it. But I'm going to give this a 5.
I'm giving this one a 9.
Okay.
I'm very excited. And hopefully this is the Apple sci-fi thing that actually lands. Because again, there's been a few that have not really hit anywhere.
So that's the first week of May.
First week of May.
That's a lot.
The second week of May, much lower on the movie releases. I think everybody is avoiding Guardians for the first week, of course, and then even the second week. The only interesting movie that is coming out, which is actually getting a decent amount of hype behind the scenes, is a movie called Hypnotic. Speaking of Ben Affleck, still in the zeitgeist from Air. Ben Affleck is only starring. He didn't write or direct this. Robert Rodriguez directed it, so a return for him in a way. But I didn't look at it too much, but it is a sci-fi detective affair with Ben Affleck investigating something.
I haven't even heard about this, and it comes out in 2 weeks? That's kind of weird.
No, you've heard about it. People have been talking about, because every time they talk about Ben Affleck and Air, they're saying, oh, and this next movie, Hypnotic, that's coming out is supposed to be very good.
Okay.
So it's been in the air.
Maybe I just haven't realized.
Yeah, you probably just didn't know what they were talking about. And you didn't realize it was coming out like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Crazy.
I was surprised that it was coming out this recent, but when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is what they've been talking about. So I'm going to give it, I love Ben Affleck, and Robert Rodriguez is great director. I'm going to go 8.5. Well, going halfies.
You can't do that.
I'm breaking the rules already.
I'm going to give it an 8. Sure. I love Ben Affleck. Sure. 8.
And then another small movie. It's Charlie Day wrote and directed a comedy, and he stars in it. And it's also starring Ken Jeong, whom I don't love, but maybe he'll be good again. I feel like he hasn't been in as many movies now that he's probably getting paid so much for Masked Singer that he just doesn't do anything else. It's called Fool's Paradise. It comes out on May 12th, along with Hypnotic. And it is about a down on his luck publicist, played by Ken Jeong, who gets his lucky break when he discovers that a mute man, played by Charlie Day, I believe, who was recently released from a mental health facility, looks just like a method actor who refuses to leave his trailer. So presumably it's like making a movie, but they have to sub in this guy that doesn't talk with the guy that does talk. Probably a little farcical. I don't know. I love Charlie Day. He'll be doing like maybe silent acting type stuff back to Charlie Chaplin-esque maybe. I don't know. So we'll see. He's certainly a larger than life character when he wants to be. So I'll honestly see anything Charlie Day does. So I'm gonna give this one an 8.
Okay, so you're gonna see this in theater.
Ooh, so maybe I'll give it a. We'll see. Dependent on reviews. This one is a dependent on reviews.
Yeah,
because things can easily fall apart.
But
like
that's not what this is about.
True. I'm gonna give it a 8.
Stick with your 8. Okay.
I just love Charlie Day.
Yeah. What did I give Hypnotic? I gave that an 8. Assuming I'm only gonna see one movie this week, I'll probably give this a 5. Yes, Charlie Day is funny, but I feel like comedies in movie theaters are never as good as I want them to be. Though seeing a comedy in a movie theater is probably better than watching it at home, just because you get that crowd. What is it like? I don't know. Just when the crowd all reacts the same, it makes it so much better and so much more funny.
Yeah, community giggling is always more fun. And now moving over to television on May 8th. A special, we watch Jeopardy every single night. We DVR it and then watch it with dinner. So
yes, we're old.
they're putting out a Jeopardy Masters, which is different from the Tournament of Champions, but it is 5 people from this year's Tournament of Champions. So everybody you love from this season, Matt Amodio, Amy Schneider, and a few others, and also James Holzhauer. So it's 5 people we just watched and him facing off in some sort of continued battle affair over multiple episodes.
And so this is different from Jeopardy. Like Jeopardy's still going to be on.
Yeah, I think this will be more prime time, right? Instead of like the 7 or 7:30 slot. And probably only once a week.
Okay.
But it's more Jeopardy, and it's just the best trivia show on television, bar none, easy peasy. So more Jeopardy is always we're always going to watch it. I'm not like thrilled or intrigued by it. I understand exactly what it's going to be. A 6, we're going to watch it, whatever.
Yeah, a 6. Definitely going to watch it, but yeah.
Then on May 10th, an FX show called Class of '09. And at first I was trying to Google this, and the only thing that came up was Class of '07, which is a young adult movie that came out on Netflix. So I was like, I'm not even going to add this. Then I just saw a commercial for it. And it is some sort of FBI thriller with Brian Tyree Henry and Kate Mara investigating something. It looks creepy and psychological, maybe with some sort of killer involved. And it's on FX, which gives me...
Does that mean on Hulu?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I love Brian Tyree Henry.
Yeah. FX is only second to HBO, and like having my
absolutely
faith that I'll at least give it a shot. And then, Brian Tyree Henry and Kate Mara, I'm going to give it a shot. So a 7.
Okay. I'm going to say a 6. I had no idea what this show was or that it was even happening. So a 6. Sure, I'll watch it.
Then on May 12th, The Great comes back.
Ooh, I love the show.
Season 3 about Catherine the Great. Elle Fanning does a great job, and Nicholas Hoult, whom we love.
So funny.
Yeah,
He's
we don't
great.
want to discount Elle Fanning. She does a great job too, but Nicholas Hoult is just so good.
He's just, he's so funny. This is a 10 for me.
Wow, our first 10.
I know. I just love The Great so much. And I don't even care about the story. I just love watching them. I just find it so hilarious.
Yeah, we're getting to the point that this is going to start being her downfall, though, right? It's got to begin.
Yeah, I don't even remember what happens in real life.
I think it ended with like the city started something, chaos ensued, and she like left.
But doesn't she rule for a long time? Or no?
No, I think she gets beheaded.
Oh.
Spoiler alert. But Yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8. It's solid.
Boo.
May 12th, also Queer Eye season 7 on Netflix. Kind of another. We know exactly what we're getting. It is an hour of our lives. Well, Netflix won't be every week. We'll probably binge it in like 2 days, like we always do.
I know. I hate that about Netflix, but at the same time, whatever.
Yeah, you cry, you laugh,
It's
you
so
love
great.
the boys. The boys are
Yeah.
just a delight, except for Anthony.
Why?
I don't know. He's just so useless. He's so strange in the show.
Yeah, you always are like, wow,
What
he
is
taught
he
them how to
doing?
make a grilled cheese.
Yeah, he's literally just eye candy.
Yeah, he is.
Like
he
he's
is.
just so handsome.
Dan is my favorite. I think he is like so good. And obviously Bobby for the interior design. I think Bobby does most of the heavy lifting with like just transforming a whole whatever it is that needs to be transformed, and it always looks amazing. I'm very excited for this. I'm always very excited for this. I'm going to also give this a 10. Here I go. 2 10s in a row.
Huge scores.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 7.5.
Okay.
Right in 3/4 there. Right.
Yeah, they can't do
Yeah.
any wrong in my eyes.
It's just another one. It's always good. I know what I'm
Yeah.
getting. I'm not like excited or enthused. It's always good. And then also May 5th. This is
What do you mean May 5th?
May 12th. Sorry, it's a lot of stuff. The next week's iteration of new Apple thing. It's called City on Fire. It almost looks YA-ish. It is about a NYU student who is found dead, and we learn to unravel her connections to a series of fires that began in the city. I believe it's actually based on a book.
Probably, yeah, that sounds like it would be.
Yeah, so if they're releasing their sci-fi epic the week before, this kind of feels like maybe trying to get the teens and tweens and college students.
Do you think it'll actually be filmed in New York?
Probably not.
Maybe Montreal
Maybe just
again.
some exteriors. I kind of only put this on the list to show what Apple's strategy that seems to be happening. I'm going to say a 5. This is even, we might not even watch it. This is like straight up contingent on somebody tell me it's good.
Yeah, I'm
we'll
going to
watch
say
it.
a 3. Yeah, I don't know anything about this. I'm sure it could be very good, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, you're right. I'm lowering it a 4. Week 3 of May 14th to the 20th. The next big one. There's 2 monsters in May. They're 2 weeks apart.
Ooh, I'm excited for this.
Fast X comes out May 19th. We all know what it is. The 10th iteration of the Fast and Furious franchise. Jason Momoa is the new big bad. And based on the newest run of trailers, so the first trailers didn't show him that much other than him looking a little thick. But yeah, he looks like he's gotten a little fat. No offense.
No,
But
take that back.
So Fast X has been all over the NBA playoffs. They're doing a whole partner campaign. They have Bronny James because of the whole family thing of like Bronny taking the keys from LeBron,
God.
which is going to be funny because apparently Bronny is good, but not great. But whole nother topic. But in the most recent trailers, I've been seeing like Jason Momoa going pretty funny, like sarcastic and not like Charlize went so serious.
Yeah.
And he looks to be more playing at Dom a bit, which will be an interesting dynamic to add.
Is he also related to them somehow?
Probably.
Their race is so ambiguous.
9.5.
It's an X for me.
I'm hesitant to give like perfect scores on anything.
I know.
So 9.5. You already gave freaking Queer Eye season 7 a 10. You can give this a 10.
I did. I just gave it an X. I'm very excited for this. This is one franchise that has gotten me from the beginning. This was pre-Zach. I was a huge Fast and Furious fan.
Beezy.
I've seen, I would say, most of these movies in theaters. Seeing these in theaters is like so much fun. The crowd gets so hyped. I get so hyped. It's just great. And it's ridiculous and I don't care. You know what I mean? Like there's some franchises where like I look at like I don't know, just like the ridiculousness of it and I'm just like, I roll my eyes. But this, like, that's what it is. And I don't know. I love it. I love it.
We love it together.
Yeah.
Irma, to her glorious credit and why we're married for 4 years together for 14 and continue to be making this podcast together. Love you, bub. Me and the boys see these movies every year when they come out in theaters, and Irma is always the only girl that comes, and she loves it just as much. It's the best. And then to way smaller, coming to your televisions, but still a movie that I barely even knew was happening, but there is a remake of White Man Can't Jump starring, well, I would be more excited for this until I saw that it is starring Jack Harlow in the Woody Harrelson role.
Eye roll that no one can see.
And I mean, I'm not going to immediately shoo him off. I've never seen him act. Maybe he'll be decent. I can assure you that he will not be as good as Woody Harrelson, who is a Hollywood legend. And his music has kind of let me down. All around, just not a huge Jack Harlow fan. It comes out on the same day, May 19th, but it's on Hulu. So like low stakes, you put it on. If it's bad, you go for a pee. I don't know.
Yeah.
So 4.
I was going to say a 3. Yeah. Who knows if Jack Harlow can act? We'll see. All right. Back to TV.
Back to TV. And there's only 2 ones that interested me. And both of them, again, are things I didn't really know about. These are new shows. The one that's coming out this week on Apple is called High Desert on May 17th. And it is about Peggy Newman, who's played by Patricia Arquette.
Who's always good.
Exactly.
Who's
so
always
like
good.
This is another one where it's like, I don't really know. It could be good, but we're going to at least give it the benefit of the doubt for a little while because of Patricia Arquette. She plays a woman with a checkered past who makes a life-changing decision to become a private investigator following the death of her beloved mother, with whom she lived in a small desert town in Yucca Valley, California.
I feel like all of these shows are about the same thing.
Yeah, investigations.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine it's going to be some sort of dark, gritty, small town, in the desert.
Yeah, it's like True Detective style.
Yeah. What was that? The Andy Greenwald show that with Rosario Dawson, that it didn't have a second season, and it was okay, but it's that idea is giving me those vibes.
Mayor of Easttown. It's not that, but
Briar Patch.
Yeah.
So something like that. Woman goes back to her town to investigate.
Briar Patch is probably a good,
Briar Patch, I think, went a little bit more surreal. We'll see though. Maybe this will. So intriguing. A 6.
Yeah, I'm also gonna say a 6 because of Patricia Arquette. She is always very good.
On May 19th, and we're more than halfway through the month, and this is our first new non-established Netflix vehicle. So that kind of goes to show you at least my feelings on Netflix, because they're putting out a lot of stuff, and most of it, it's kind of a rule for me at this point that I don't watch any Netflix shows until somebody tells me it's good. Except for Wednesday, we watched immediately because I thought it was intriguing, and it turns out it was very good. They do a decent job pulling in international shows. So this show is called Muted, and it's Spanish. And it is about a man named Sergio, who was released from prison 6 years after murdering his parents when he was still a minor. During that time in prison, he hasn't said anything. And it's kind of unraveling that story. He works with a psychologist to try and unravel that story. It sounds very similar to a book that was very hot this year called The Silent Patient, in which a woman killed her husband and then went completely mute. And a psychologist in her mental institution unravels what happened. So funny that they're both coming out basically in the same year or two. But just the idea kind of sounds, with Netflix, it could be one of those really cheesy, over the top kind of like silly dramas.
Yeah, but I feel like because this is foreign, like it won't fall into that. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking too. It sounds interesting, even though it's very similar to a book I just read, but only in premise. So I'm gonna give this one also a 6. Let somebody tell me it's good.
Yeah, I'll say a 6 as well.
And then the rest of May, it's technically a week and a half, but what are you going to do? Another big release. May has 3 big IP tentpole releases coming out, which I guess is normal. It's basically the start of the summer blockbusters. Yeah. And on May 26th, The Little Mermaid live action comes out in theaters. And I am cautiously optimistic about this one. I believe we talked about it briefly in a previous podcast.
Yeah, this is definitely a huge nostalgia play for me. I loved The Little Mermaid growing up. I mean, Beauty and the Beast was always my go-to, and they already did a live action version of that, which I also really liked. So I have high hopes for this because of that. But at the same time, it being underwater is what makes me nervous. Like, I don't doubt, is it Haley Bailey
Mm-hmm.
playing Little Mermaid? I don't doubt that she's not going to be amazing, and like all the people are probably going to be great. It's just like how it's going to look visually because a live action Little Mermaid is kind of strange. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's not
that's
really live action. It can't be.
right. It's going to be make or break on the CGI
Yeah.
and based on the Disney and Marvel.
Yeah, the
And
CGI is
honestly,
never
even some of
great.
most of the most recent Star Wars stuff, it's been a little bit of a letdown. And also in lieu of Avatar doing an underwater thing and
Yeah,
looking
exactly.
incredible.
Exactly.
So it's absolutely going to be compared to it on a visual level, and it's going to be impossible to match that.
I know. Like, I just think it's going to look a little cartoony.
Yeah,
you
which
know?
maybe is fine. Maybe they'll kind of lean into that a bit more.
Yeah.
As opposed to like the Lion King that was just like photorealistic. This one, the lobster might look a little more cartoony, and that's okay. And the flowers will look cartoony. Yeah, no doubt Halle Bailey can sing for sure.
Yeah.
The songs are probably going to rule. I think is Lin-Manuel is involved again making
Ugh.
um
Sorry.
making
Was that
there's a
audible?
few more original songs.
Yeah.
So
we'll
hopefully
see.
he listens more to the original soundtrack rather than making them all sound kind of like his sound.
Making them all rap.
Right.
Having a lobster rap.
But we'll see if she can also act.
Yeah, I think she can. I mean, she was on Yara Shahidi's
Yeah, Grownish.
Grownish, and I thought she was good in that.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously she wasn't the main
They were
character,
both
but
good in it.
yeah, I have like medium hopes for this. I'm gonna say a 7. I don't know if we're gonna see it in theaters.
Yeah, we are.
Well, no, but I just mean like that first when it first comes out, because isn't that Memorial Day weekend?
I don't know. We'll see it.
Yeah.
Pretty
We'll definitely
early.
see it, but I don't know. Yeah. I think this is like one of those movies that you kind of have to see in theaters. I think. So yeah, I'm going to say a 7.
I'm going an 8.
Okay.
I'm hoping it's going to be good. Little Mermaid is arguably my favorite Disney movie, along with Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast, at least of our generations. I had it on VHS as a kid, so I watched it a lot. Pretty girl with a tail. It's weird to watch for that long. But yeah, hopefully the CGI doesn't look awful, because that could really, really destroy
I know,
it.
that's what I'm nervous about.
And then a small one that's being released by A24, so it can't be bad, on May 26th. Also, it's called You Hurt My Feelings, and it's with Julia Louis-Dreyfus, which is always interesting. And she plays a novelist whose marriage is suddenly upended when she overhears her husband giving an honest reaction to her latest book.
Oh, right. I feel like I saw like a trailer for this.
So inevitably it's going to be funny.
Yeah.
And that's all I really know. But Julia Louis-Dreyfus is always good. So we're going to give this is probably a wait for it to come out on streaming or on demand.
We'll see. Maybe like if the reviews are really good, maybe we'll want to go see it.
Very possible. We're going to give it a 7.
Yeah.
7.
I'm going to also say a 7.
And then just a FYI that on May 23rd, Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods comes out to Max. So for everybody who didn't see it in theaters because it wasn't supposed to be good and kind of the last death knell of the previous DC regime.
Well, I just also kind of feel like it was very dumb of DC to say like, oh yeah, all of these movies don't matter anymore, while they still have like, I think 2 movies. Like it was like Shazam and Jason Momoa's movie. Like apparently it's not going to be a part of what James
Aquaman?
Gunn. Yeah.
Oh.
It's not going to be a part of what James Gunn is going to be doing moving forward. So it's like you're sealing these movies' fate, you know? It just seems really dumb.
Yeah, well, when Aquaman, I guess none of DC was technically connected.
Yeah.
Really. So that's kind of like it still was. And Aquaman 1 was pretty good.
Well, Aquaman made a lot of money. I mean, I like Jason Momoa a lot, so I think maybe that'll probably do better, but
we haven't seen Shazam Fury of the Gods. From what we've heard, I really liked the first one, but apparently the second one kind of lost all of that heart of it being kind of funny and heartwarming about a a kid becoming a superhero and turned it into just a very run-of-the-mill action blaster with people we don't care about fighting each other and fighting gods, and it got way too big. Like we've talked about a lot of these stories getting. So I'm, no excitometer here because it's been out a 5, fine, a 5 to watch it on Max when it comes out.
A 2.
Wow, our lowest score yet.
Yeah. We'll watch it.
And then the final, so now moving to television, the final of the Apple releases this month, and potentially the best, just given Apple's proclivity to put out comedies. I feel like if we give them anything, the Ted Lassos, the Shrinkings are kind of the best things that have been on Apple so far. So on May 24th, a show called Platonic comes out starring Rose Byrne and Seth Rogen, whom you can't go wrong with. And they're just former best friends. And in the middle of their life, they reconnect, and we'll see what happens from there. But this could easily be similar to Someone I Used to Know, similar to Love Life, similar to Rye Lane, a little bit deeper of a rom-com, more, a little sad people, introspective.
And this is kind of like have they done anything together since Neighbors? I mean, they were great in Neighbors.
Yeah, probably not, except for Neighbors 2.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, this sounds great. I'll be excited for this. I'll give it an 8.
I'm gonna go 9.
Oh,
I'm getting my hope. No, screw it. I'm doing it. I'm giving it a 9. I love Seth Rogen.
Yeah, stick to your guns.
Rose Byrne. The only thing I hope for Rose Byrne is that she just speaks in her normal voice.
What is that?
She's Australian, right?
Oh, I mean, most of the actors in Hollywood are not American.
I feel like she actually did use her normal voice in Neighbors.
Vice.
But she never does. I'm pretty sure she did. She never does. And just use it, because then I'm always thinking like you're putting on an accent. Although I'm just so used to her American accent that it's fine. We started watching Perry Mason, total tangent. But Matthew Rhys's American accent pretty much is his voice I've ever heard.
Yeah.
So I just know what his American accent is, and I'm not off put by it. But then his co-star in Perry Mason, I don't really know who she is, and I never seen her in real life. But we were watching, and I was like, this woman sounds like she's not actually American. I looked it up. She's British.
Yeah.
So it's just funny when all of these actors don't use their real accents. What am I giving it?
The Brits
a
are
9.
stealing our jobs.
Yeah, Seth Rogen. I love Seth Rogen. Then May 29th.
It's ridiculous that you put this on here.
List. It's coming out. During the pandemic, me and Irma started watching American Ninja Warrior. It's just a fun, although overwhelming, because it's at least 2 hours every week.
Yeah, oh God, it's so much.
But it's on normal television, so it's actually only an hour and a half because you can fast forward through the commercials. But on May 29th, American Ninja Warrior comes back, and just like the other shows that I just know exactly what I'm getting, I'm giving it a 6, but we're definitely going to watch it.
Yeah, it's just like, I guess, a reality competition show. You know what I mean? And like watching these people do all of these obstacles, it seems insane, but kind of fun to watch. And you start to get to know like the characters, because they'll like, if they pass the level, they'll come back for the next level, and then you're rooting for them. I don't know. I get really into it.
Yeah.
It's so silly.
They always have the heartwarming stories.
Yeah, they really do.
But then if you do commit for several seasons, there are people that are just on every year.
Yeah.
They're like athletes.
And that you want them to like succeed this year. Like, this year you got it.
They blew it last year. They got to get back. And
what did you give it? A 7?
A 6.
Oh, a 6.
I think I gave it the same as Queer Eye and Padma. Or I gave Padma higher.
Yeah, you did. I'm surprised you didn't give Padma 69.
Oh, geez, a 6.9. You're right.
I'll give it a 7. Yeah.
The final thing that comes out May 30th, which Irma does not watch. It is called I Think You Should Leave with Tim Robinson. It is arguably the funniest show on television, even though it's on Netflix. It is a sketch comedy show where each episode is between 12 and 15 minutes. It's Tim Robinson, who is just one of the funniest people in the world. Laugh out loud, memeable. It's amazing. It gives me, the show being popular and getting 3 seasons on Netflix gives me hope for the world.
my
because
God.
it is so funny, but it's so weird. And then the fact that enough people love it as much as they do for Netflix, it's probably very cheap for them. But like the fact that Netflix just keeps it going gives me faith in Netflix, gives me faith in the world. It's the best. It's hilarious. I'm definitely going to rewatch the first 2 seasons because there's only a few episodes and they're short, so you can watch it with me and catch up.
Yeah, maybe I will.
And so I'm giving this one a 9.5 also. I won't go 10 because I haven't yet, but we're up there.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in Detroiters. I always get him confused because what's the other guy's name in Detroiters?
Sam.
Okay. For some reason, when you say Tim Robinson, I always think you're talking about that other guy. Okay. Yeah.
Sam Richardson.
Yeah.
They're very similar.
Yeah,
in name.
In name, exactly. Okay. I don't.
Irma doesn't watch. She hasn't watched it.
I
She's
haven't
gonna watch
watched
it though because I'm gonna rewatch the first 2.
I'll say a 5. Sure. Why not? Did you give your score? Did I interrupt you?
I gave it a 9.5.
9.5.
Yeah, the highest I went along with Fast. And that is it. That is 24 things
It's too much.
that we will probably consume.
And there's probably other stuff that you didn't even have on this list, to be honest.
Definitely. Things
like,
on.
I think there's like a Bridgerton coming back.
I didn't see that.
There's a
I don't know if that's
spinoff
May.
of-
I know it's coming. I just don't know if it's
Okay.
May. Yeah, there are things on Netflix that I'm just not going to put on the list until somebody says it's good.
Yeah.
So that was 24 things that we're almost definitely going to watch most of them. Again, maybe not all of the Apple things except for Silo for sure. A lot of interesting stuff though. The content stream never stops a-flowing. We're excited for all of it.
Thank you, Craig, for the production assistance. And thank you, John Welsh, for our intro and outro music.
Please subscribe so you know every time we post a new episode. Follow us on all the socials at Talkin Tent. Tell us what you're most excited for. If we missed anything, I'm sure we did. And feel free to email us at talkintent@gmail.com. From our living room to yours, what do you want to watch?